Geraldo. Hi, everybody, and welcome to a show that's all about Michael. It was perhaps the weirdest, or certainly one of the most unusual award shows ever broadcast, the so-called Jackson Family Honors TV Extravaganza. Now, it was noteworthy for many, many reasons. Number one, Michael Jackson barely sung a note. La Toya Jackson wondered out loud there in Las Vegas about what her allegedly dysfunctional family was honoring. I spoke to her, you'll hear it. And Cindy Adams, our first studio guest, was in the crowd and backstage with the Jackson family, and we'll be hearing Cindy's inside take on all of what went on. Here's just a taste of La Toya. I'll bring you more later.
I really don't know what they're honoring, to be very honest with you. I don't understand the purpose of the reunion. Of course, it's been going on for now, I think over, well, nearly 2 years, actually. And now it just decided to just go off, and they decided to do it. It's been canceled and postponed a couple of times. However, I think the timing is wrong, and what they're honoring, I really don't know, because it seems as if you're kind of dedicating yourself and devoting yourself to something that you really don't believe in, if I were to go, which is child abuse, and I don't believe in that.
She said to me, and she said it directly to me, that what are they honoring here? Child molestation? We'll have much more, as I mentioned, with La Toya later, when we also look, and look very closely, at some of the other allegations now swirling around the head of her brother Michael. Now, these new allegations, as you've already heard, undoubtedly, we'll give you the inside scoop, include recent reports that other alleged molestation victims are now coming forward. We have two people here to talk about the truth or falsity of that. Ernie Rizzo, private investigator, and of course Flo Anthony, our wonderful correspondent for the National Examiner. And in a totally different take on dangerous Mr. Michael Jackson, we will hear all about the various commercial controversies involving the king of pop, including people over there. Chris, give me a shot of the group on the side there. People over there who claim that Michael has been robbing their songs and claiming that they are original. You'll hear the songs that these folks wrote. You can compare them in your mind with hits that Michael had and made tens of millions of dollars with. You can judge for yourself whether or not he robbed the songs. But right now, without further ado, with the inside scoop on that crazy non-concert honor show in Vegas, it aired around the world on NBC on Tuesday. Here is Cindy Adams from the New York Post and various television endeavors. Cindy, what was, to the extent that you can judge it, the state of mind of the Jackson clan? I'm talking about the parents and the siblings.
Euphoric, ecstatic, the fact that they finally actually got it together. They had been schlepping around with this for about 3 years. When it was set for last December, Michael then called from Switzerland, or wherever he was, we believe Switzerland, and he said, please postpone it until February. They had to get it all together again. They weren't sure that they could, but they did. And so they said, this is a wonderful, exciting time. That's what they said.
When Streisand played the same venue, every VIP in Hollywood turned out. How about this time?
There weren't. There wasn't a good VIP representation except for Minister Farrakhan, and what can I tell you about him being one of the great representatives? But there was nothing from Sony. There was nothing from creative artists. There were none of the big famous stars that we would have expected. They jettisoned him. They let him go, and they did not support him.
Was there a feeling in the crowd that it was curious, to say the least, that here the family was honoring people of great achievement when, in fact, it had been branded as dysfunctional, and specifically that Michael had just settled this case for between $10 and $15 million?
The question I asked everyone, Dionne Warwick, Gladys Knight, Smokey Robinson, I asked them all, I said, what about the timing? Isn't this lousy timing? And everybody had their backs up with that one. The family said, it is never the wrong time to honor one's family.
I would like to believe in Michael, but the only question I have is, why did he settle? If he is innocent, why do this? Because the majority of the people who feel that he settled feel that's admission of guilt.
Because anybody who is a smart lawyer will have you settle any case today rather than going to court. If you bang in your fender, if you bang somebody's fender, they're going to say, look, settle. Don't make a big deal. Don't go with insurance claims, because the process is very lengthy. It is forever. and you can only get killed in the process. By the time you're declared innocent, it's been 3 years of terrible headlines.
Ooh, I don't know if I agree with that, Cindy, because Michael Jackson has...
You're a lawyer. I'm not. The lady asked me.
Michael Jackson has made a point of going to court. He's made a point of going to court to vigorously defend himself when accused of stealing someone else's song, as we'll hear later in the broadcast.
That case was 20 minutes of duration.
It was.
He was accused, it was over, it was finished.
I really would like to know why the media finds it necessary to crucify a young, talented black man such as Michael to the extent that he's like found guilty, you know, like...
Do you think if he were white it would be different?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
What do you think,
Don't pick on
Cindy?
me when it comes to the media. I have been defending Michael straight along. I choose to believe he was innocent, and I believe he was.
I want to know why La Toya Jackson is so...
I believe that he is somewhat dysfunctional. He is an oddity, and I think he was playing touchy-feely like kids do when they were growing up, because I think he's still a case of arrested child development. That's all I believe.
Well, I tend to agree with you, but unfortunately, the fact that it's arrested development doesn't make it any less a crime. The fact that he may be in an altered state of consciousness. But good.
I want to know why La Toya Jackson is so upset with the family now.
Okay. Now, you had a long talk with La Toya, as
Yes.
I did.
I personally like La Toya.
Can you like them both?
Yeah, I can like them both. I like you and I like Sally Jesse Raphael. You know, what can I tell you?
She's got a point.
No, I like La Toya. La Toya is the most colorful, terrific, down-to-earth broad the world has ever known. She's got a mouth, unfortunately, that goes from here to Pennsylvania. And in Las Vegas, they were calling her, unfortunately, La Toilet. However, I think she is a nice lady. I like her. She's got some bug. The family has dumped on her. She is dumping on them. I wish she would shut her mouth. I think it's bad enough when the outside world picks on you. You don't need your own to pick on you. I would think that she should shut her mouth.
On that note, before I take your question, what I'd like to do is to show you now some more of what La Toya told me in our interview just over this weekend. Here's La Toya.
Michael has always gone to court for his songs, but it was never publicized. It was kept quiet. However, when it came to the Dangerous song, which he just won that battle, he was eagerly and ready to go there and fight because he knew that that was his song. And he knew that he was going to win because he knew that he was innocent. But you must think, at the same time, why didn't he do that with... He did say, after all, I will prove to you that I'm innocent. And I will show you. And he didn't. Cochran, who represents Michael, you've seen the attorney Cochran. Well, actually, he threatened my career. He said if I were to say anything else, he would make it a point that my career would be over immediately, and I wouldn't be able to work ever again in life.
What
Michael
career?
will do anything at this point to free himself and make himself look good. I do know that he has bought his way a lot when I was at home with a lot of things, whatever he wanted, of course. Money talks, of course, as we all know, and that's what he did with so many things and so many people to keep them quiet. And a lot of people won't come up and come forward because of this very reason. Now, as far as buying his freedom with a little boy, I don't know why he would think that he could do that and get away with it when there are so many other people involved that will probably eventually come forward and speak. And I'm sure you will get one or two that's courageous enough to come forward and say something.
As you'll hear in just a couple of minutes, there are two more youngsters allegedly who have come forward. Let me get Cindy's comment on what she just saw before I take your question.
You can buy your way out with many things. You can buy your way out with emotion as well. She said to me that she tried to call her brother. Her brother did not return her call. You're talking about somebody, it's like a woman spurned. She's getting even. Whether she has right on her side or not, if she was so righteous, why didn't she say it before, years before? Why now when the family has shown her that they don't like her attitudes? Why is she doing it now? It's not right to do it, Geraldo. It is not right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I would like to know, why doesn't the media say anything on the blackmail the father tried to do in the beginning of this
I'm sorry, I didn't...
The blackmail. Remember the stories, the extortion,
Yeah.
where it became clear that the father, the producer slash dentist to the stars, was looking for the settlement that later was paid. Why isn't enough emphasis, I guess, going from that side, the greedy parental side?
Well, the point is that they quickly assessed what he wanted. If he wanted revenge, if he wanted righteous justice, if he wanted to protect his beloved child, or if he wanted money, they instantly assessed that money was what would put an end to that. Not revenge, not to have his child on the right path, not to get back for what they did to his child. He wanted bucks. So
Any
they
idea
took
how
care of
many bucks Mr. Jackson has?
Well, he had enough to spend $3,000 last week in Las Vegas on books, and then he went shopping for CDs and spent another $3,000. So whatever money he gave the father, it hasn't dented his lifestyle.
Right.
Any.
Cindy, you had said that many of the celebrities have withdrawn their support from Michael. Did you see any indication that Elizabeth Taylor had done that? And what is their relationship now?
Elizabeth Taylor has been staunchly supportive to such a degree that she turned the honors into a laudatory honor for him. And he had received an 8.5-minute standing ovation. And then when she was going on and on like this, they were saying, "Sing, Michael, sing." And she said, "No, he's not going to sing." And the audience started to boo.
And that moment, were you embarrassed for her, or do you think the audience righteous?
I think we were. She should have quit while she was ahead. She should have done what she was going to do and then gotten off. She walked off and sort of semi-collapsed in the arms of Larry Fortensky, her current temporary husband. Elizabeth Taylor, Hilton Wilding, Todd Fisher, Burton Warner, Fortensky. Has a nice ring to it.
Was La Toya on everyone's lips?
La Toya was on everyone's... Everybody spoke of La Toya. I spoke to her, and she told me, she said, "Don't think I'm going to stop. I have lots worse to say about my brother, and I'm going to say it."
Cindy Adams, ladies and gentlemen, has been our first guest. Now we will bring out our panelists, including the private eye who claims inside information, Flo Anthony, and all those people who say they really wrote the song. Good, Bad, Dangerous, the trials and tribulations of Michael Jackson continue after this commercial message.
It's Magic's first annual rally.
Sexual molestation case, the original one, hired, I guess, by the biological dad, was it, Ernie? And how long did you actually work on the case?
A couple of months.
Couple of months, okay. Sitting next to him, someone who is a personal friend of the Jacksons, Flo Anthony. She's also friends, ironically, as is Cindy, not only with the Jackson families, but with the estranged daughter-sister, La Toya. Flo, you heard Cindy's take on the concert. Did you agree?
Not exactly, and everybody knows Cindy's my friend and mentor, and she sat in front of me during the concert, but her view must not have been the same as mine, because there were celebrities there, or maybe it's a bit of the generation gap, she didn't recognize some of them. John Singleton was there with Tyra. In fact, Bertice Berry, who was also there, and I got tired of watching them walk around. Prince Marky D was there, Michael Bivins was there, Nancy Wilson was there, and the reason that Minister Farrakhan did come, his son Wally Muhammad is Jermaine Jackson's best friend. So there's the connection that is there. So, you know, there were probably celebs I even missed.
But you know something, you're a world observer, and I really credit you, and I am delighted that you're here, and you know that that concert was less than it should have been.
Not really, Geraldo. It depends on what you see. I like Dionne
Michael
Warwick.
didn't sing.
Okay, I mean, I would have loved to see Mike sing. I would have loved for a Jackson 5 medley. But I like Janet Jackson. I like Dionne
She's terrific.
Warwick.
Janet's terrific.
I like Celine Dion, and I love Gladys Knight and Smokey Robinson. So I felt it was a great concert. And aside from that, Jermaine and Tito, the number that they did was magnificent. I was just glad to see Michael there being vibrant and alive and smiling and happy. And, you know, even though I think probably as much of La Toya as I do members of my own family, you know, the thing with who were they honoring, they were in the molestation, they were honoring Berry Gordy, who nobody ever told me he was a child molester, and Elizabeth Taylor, no one ever told me she was a child molester. They were not honoring each other or honoring Mike. So the honors, you know, were for the two of them.
Why is she still talking?
I don't know. I would never down LaToya. LaToya has been a very good friend to me.
Don't you think that the more she says, as loony as she seems, the truer it seems?
No, and I don't think that LaToya seems loony. I think that she just has her opinions on things, and other people have their opinions on things.
Well, it's not an opinion when you say your father molested you. That's not an opinion.
Well,
that's a statement of fact.
You know, I'm just saying that LaToya is LaToya, and I would never say that she's not telling the truth, because I believe that many things that she says are true. And as I've said before, I do agree that it's inappropriate behavior for a grown man to spend so much time around children, but he's never, ever trusted adults. And LJ, that's what I've always called LaToya, her behavior is one reason that he has never trusted adults. I mean, so...
Well, she's not even 2 years older than him. They're very close in age.
They're very close in age. So.
Now, LaToya told me that Mom said she could go to the concert if she signed a gag order.
They denied that. At the press conference, Mrs. Jackson said if they were going to put a gag order on LaToya, they would have done it a long time ago. You know, this is just everybody pitting so much against everybody. Geraldo, you know, it's very difficult to weed through this thing. I think what Jermaine wants is for LaToya to sit down and meet with the family, and I think they all need to do that behind closed doors. At one time, before she left with Jack, I mean, you know, she even says in her book and everything, all of them were extremely close. The first time I ever interviewed Jermaine, the first thing he said was the closest person he was to LaToya because of the closeness in their age, and LaToya says, yes, we were very good friends.
Is it scary to you when she says, I've just begun to fight?
I don't know if it's frightening to me. You know, I don't know, even though I guess Ernie's about to tell us, I don't know how worse things can get, you know.
How much worse, really? Ernie Rizzo.
Yes.
I'm going to take a break, but I'm going to ask you one question.
Go ahead.
It is alleged that two youngsters have or are about to come forward to finger Michael Jackson as the accused molester.
That's right.
Only want a one-word answer. Is that true or false?
It's true.
We'll be right back. The trials and tribulations of Michael Jackson continue right after this.
Freshen your car with Glade clip-ons.
Clip on here, clip on there, clip on freshness everywhere.
Refills freshen for 30 days.
Clip on freshness everywhere.
Glade clip-ons, fresh from Glade.
A surprising thing happens to egg noodles when you take out the yolks and you add extra egg whites. They get lighter, fluffier, and there's no cholesterol. No yolks. We don't have what you don't want.
At the Pons Institute, women were given the chance to look years younger. They used new age-defying complex with alpha nutrium every day for 6 months. The tests revealed, in 24 hours, softer skin. In 2 weeks, a new firmness and radiance. Over time, 84% noticed a reduction in the appearance of wrinkles. Age-defying complex. New from the Pons Institute.
The private lives of these young superstars have turned into public spectacles. Hollywood exposed the young, the rich, the reckless. Next, Geraldo.
Open your mouth and close your eyes. Here comes a big surprise.
Cereal. What is it?
Yes.
It's nice and weedy, and it's not mushy.
It's really crunchy, right?
Yep. Give me a hint.
Well, it's 100% whole grain.
Let's see. It's wheat, it's whole grain, it's really crunchy, it's Corn Chex.
Dad.
If you haven't tried deliciously crunchy whole grain wheat Chex, you gotta check out Chex.
Rice Chex.
Dad.
When you walk through the door at Remco, you know you're getting more.
Now you have more choices. Introducing Remco's new Customer's Choice program. It's flexible, it's affordable, and it's yours only at Remco. You can save money and own in just 12 months, or lower your monthly payment with 18 or even 24-month terms. The choice is yours only at Remco. Great products, great prices, great people, and now great choices. It's the Remco difference.
Remco, go ahead and get it store.
Which do you find more appetizing, this food or a sign-up fee at a weight loss center? Which is more appealing, this or weigh-ins and public confessions? You see, this is Just Help Yourself, the diet you can do for yourself. Enjoy 3 Just Help Yourself meals a day, and you're really dieting, and you don't have to join a weight loss center, because we think no one will have to talk you into staying on Just Help Yourself. You just have to talk yourself into starting. Discover Just Help Yourself, the diet you can do for yourself exclusively at Kroger.
I think nude dancing is definitely a trend. It's a tidal wave.
Nude clubs. They're back and beginning to pop up in the Houston area. How can these clubs operate?
There's a lot less going on here than there is in a topless bar.
Are they just a novelty?
I've been here several times. I've always enjoyed myself.
What do opponents say?
We will not tolerate a nude club.
Carlos Aguilar takes you into totally nude clubs, moving in on Houston. Tonight on 13 Eyewitness News at 10.
Forgot my microphone. All right. Ernie, give us the 1-minute version of what's going on.
Well, as of this morning, as a matter of fact, they're not different boys. The same 2 boys that's been around them for a long time have changed their stories. And they've changed their stories when they were sworn under oath and before the police.
So when came time for the grilling by the cops, they said what, Ernie?
They said that it was a whole different story. And I really can't go into their details, but it was a whole different story. They changed their whole story from what they told the media.
Do you think that they will sign criminal complaints now against Michael?
I think they will. I think it was the biggest mistake the Jackson people could have made was to settle this case. Because, in my personal opinion, there is no question in my mind what Michael Jackson's been doing. And in his heart of hearts...
What has he been doing?
Oh, he's been molesting kids for years. Now, you know, and this is not... Whoa, time out. I've been...
You weren't there. And I want to talk to Geraldo. I just have to say one thing.
Whoa.
I don't know one of these kids, but I do know the other one. And the one kid was on the Dangerous tour with Michael the whole last summer. Everybody saw him over in London. He just got off the tour when Michael came home, you know, right before Christmas. So, Ernie, don't you think it's just this little settlement that this other kid had just might have made them think, well, good, let us get a couple million, too. Why just be his friend?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Because if that one kid changed the story, he and his mother are wrong.
Excuse me, sir.
Sure.
Was you there? Did you see it?
Of course I wasn't there.
Okay, are
Nor
these
was
2
you
kids
there.
getting paid?
Pardon me?
What, are these 2 kids getting
Not
paid?
yet, but they are trying.
No.
They are certainly
This is not
trying
about
to.
money. It's before a grand jury.
Oh,
There's
it is
nothing-
about
Yeah, but
money
they getting
before.
paid, right? And you too, right?
Pardon me?
Okay. It's before the grand jury where? In Santa Barbara? or
Santa
Los
Barbara.
Angeles? And what do you think, Ernie? Give us your,
again,
your learned opinion.
It's hard arguing with fans. It's like arguing Elvis Presley's still alive. But there is no question what happened.
Flo, your comment on Ernie.
Yeah, my whole thing is that the one kid I don't know. The other kid I do know, you know, friends of mine saw him in London. He's been on tour with Michael for 2 years. He and his mother sat up there and gave praises to Michael to the sky. And now that this other kid's family has gotten some money, all of a sudden they're changing their story.
Why
and
not,
I just
Ernie?
think
Why not?
that it's a total shame.
Would they risk perjury? Would they risk perjury before a grand jury?
Exactly. There's one thing about trying to go to bat for Michael. There's another thing about raising your right hand before a grand jury and going to jail for 5 years.
A lot of people commit perjury, and they're not going to put a teenager in jail.
Time out. When his parents came up there and his mother had to go before a grand jury, she told a whole different story why a Rolls Royce appeared in her driveway the very next morning after she caught her kid with Michael. So it's a whole different story.
But she went on television then and lied for a Rolls Royce. What does that tell you? If that's even true. I mean, you're talking about some nickel and dime people. And that's Michael's mistake, playing with these commoners who don't know anything.
But Flo, you admit...
They're not commoners.
You admit... All right, well, I'll get into who they are social status-wise, but you admit, Flo, that it was an error. As La Toya herself said in the previous segment, it is an error, was, for Michael to settle this case. All he did was open Pandora's box.
To settle it. I feel, as Cindy said, that he was just ready to go on with his own life. And as I talked with Johnny Cochran while I was in Las Vegas, and he said rather than call it a settlement, we want to say the matter was resolved.
Sure.
I don't feel it was an error.
Sure.
I feel that he'll
Ernie,
beat
let's
these
hear from you.
people
Yeah.
too. And these, you know, I feel he'll beat them.
Sure, he'll beat him. Every guy in a joint wants to put their problems behind him and pay some money if they could. They don't have Michael's money. That's not the problem. Michael should never have settled it because out there in the world there are many people, many
that are
kids
dirty
who know a
and
story.
dogged
And what's he going to do now? Fight the second one? Can't fight the second one. Because if he fights the second one, it admits the first one was right.
Well, you know
so
what?
what's he going to do?
We'll wait until this comes out because, you know, I did something with Ernie a few weeks ago, and he told me Michael would be indicted by that Friday, and a whole few weeks or almost a month has passed, and I haven't seen any indictment.
Well, he
so I don't know how good your information
because he dropped $20 million to let it go away.
He did not. It was not $20 million.
$20 million. Made it go away. Now, who pays that kind of money to let it go away?
Let's ask this lady. Yes, ma'am.
No matter what, it's never going to be over. But also, why is just La Toya the only one speaking out in this big family here? I don't understand. Why is it just her? Is she getting paid?
I'll tell you why.
Personally, I don't believe just her. I don't believe the whole thing anyway. But why is it just her?
Well, let me say this. First of all, La Toya is kind of flaky.
True, why isn't she getting backed up?
La Toya is kind of flaky.
I think it has more to do with Jack than with La Toya.
Jack, her husband. Okay, hold it. Time out. Break. We'll come back. Let's bring out all those people who claim that Michael stole their songs. Might as well get the whole thing in play. The trials of Michael. Oh, yeah, they continue.
A lot of MCI customers confess they didn't get the savings they hoped for.
We tried MCI on that friends and family thing. I was very disappointed in the plan.
I mean, if you want to give us savings, give us savings. Just give it to us. Introducing AT&T True USA Savings. If you spend $25 a month, you'll get 20% off your AT&T long-distance calls. 20% off. Guaranteed. And the fact is, 2 out of 3 friends and family users on basic or prime time will save more on True USA Savings.
I thought we were going to save a lot of money, and we didn't.
The truth is, the average friends and family basic customer's discount is only 6%.
I'm going to switch back to AT&T.
Call us at 1-800-PIC-ATT. The call's free. Switching is free. And you get 20% off every call you make in the USA. Anytime, anywhere, to anyone you call.
Bye, MCI.
Call us at 1-800-PIC-ATT.
The real you coming through your true voice.
Tonight at a special time, 8, 7 Central. Tim and Jill don't agree on how to keep the peace.
I tried it your way, it didn't work.
My way was that we told them. Was I not clear?
We. It can be taken so many different ways.
Home improvement, then.
You know what this is?
Your Pulitzer Prize, you luscious lump of a man. Mwah.
The critic scores after Home Improvement at its special time.
It's all on 13 tonight, followed by 13 Eyewitness News at 10.
As chairman of the Railroad Commission, Jim Nugent's vision has meant an enhanced oil recovery program, 800 million new barrels of oil for Texas, and jobs for our people. Jim Nugent's aggressive leadership has made Texas a leader in the alternative fuels industry, creating 15,000 new jobs for our people by the turn of the century. Jim Nugent, making the Railroad Commission matter for us. James E. Jim Nugent, Railroad Commission.
When state legislators charged with getting tough on juvenile crime meet to talk about Harris County, Robert Eccles is in charge. When Harris County is looking for innovative and effective programs for juvenile offenders, Robert Eccles asks the tough questions. Of all the candidates for Harris County judge, only one has hands-on experience at getting criminals off the streets and keeping them off. Robert Eccles, Republican for Harris County judge.
We're getting the people who claim Michael Jackson stole their songs ready on stage. The question to Flo and Ernie before we went to commercial break was, why just La Toya?
Well, you know, I'll tell you, La Toya seems to know quite a bit. The investigation I made, I don't know where she gets her information from. Sometimes she's right on target. Now, she's kind of flaky and she doesn't come off right, but what she says is just about accurate.
Hello?
I hate to comment so much on La Toya.
Okay, I'm going to just give you, let me set it up this way. I'll help you out. I'll set it up this way. La Toya claims that the reason it is only La Toya speaking out is because she is the only one, Janet obviously accepted, La Toya is the only one who is truly independent financially. That all of the others, Tito, Marlon, Randy, Jermaine, etc., and the other sister, Rennie, is her?
Jackie and Rebbie.
That they are all on Michael's payroll in one way or another.
Since I don't know anything about any of their bank accounts, I can't comment on that.
They get their checks once a month.
But I think that a lot of what La Toya does comes from Jack, her husband, who I once also liked until I defended her when he beat her up, and he threatened me. And I was, you know, walking around with security myself. So, I mean,
so
at one
unusual.
time, I really, really liked him a lot.
Unusual
also.
couple. They said on this stage that they'd never consummated their marriage. They said on this stage that they're going to get a divorce in a year or two.
She told me once she couldn't even imagine kissing him. So.
Yeah, why she married him? Very good question. Okay, much more with Ernie and Flo, but right now let's get into this commercial dispute, this other aspect of Michael's life, one that he has litigated, spent lots of money on lawyers, and appeared in courts and done depositions, and has so far been universally successful. Did he really write all those songs, or did he pirate or plagiarize them? Crystal Cartier recently lost a $40 million lawsuit that she had brought against Mr. Jackson after Michael showed up at their trial in Denver and actually sang a couple of the bars of Dangerous for the jury. Now, Crystal, do you claim that you wrote Dangerous?
I did write Dangerous.
You wrote it in what year?
I wrote this song originally in 1985.
And Michael released it in 92?
91. November of 91.
Okay. What happened? Flo?
I just want to say my whole problem in Crystal's case is I understand that you never could find the original demo that you sent over to Epic or to Sony, and so I didn't even understand why he wasted time going to court with you with that.
Because it has nothing to do with the you're talking about the January 88 recording. It has nothing to do with the October 90 recording.
But what happened to you? Why don't you have a copy of a demo that you sent to a record company?
I have no problem with I have my masters and everything is intact. All of my records are intact for the October 90 recording. That was over a year before Michael's album was released. All right? That's when my song was recorded. It was played over the air. It was played over the radio.
Let's hear Crystal Cartier's 1985 version of Dangerous. Now, they are... Cut. Now what I'd like you to do is rack up Michael Jackson's version of Dangerous, and we will compare. Let's go. Michael. Dangerous.
The girl is so dangerous. Where's the comparison? Take away my money, throw away my time.
Cut. Now how many people see a similarity? Crystal, you believe that Michael dazzled the judge and jury?
Yes, he did.
And how long did the jury deliberate?
3 hours.
Just 3 hours, and they threw your case out?
Exactly.
Okay. Do you remember when Michael was on the lam, as some feel, when he was moving around in the midst of all the turmoil and controversy? He was doing his world tour, and then suddenly was in Mexico being treated for an addiction to prescription drugs, I believe it was. Well, we have the videotape deposition that Michael gave in Mexico on the next song or songs that he allegedly pirated. We'll play you not only the song, well, not only the song, but also the deposition that he gave, and introduce you to 4 gentlemen who claim that he is indeed a thief. Again, they did not win. Again, they were left holding the legal bag. But let me take a break first, and we'll get much more into Michael the Pirate.
Karin Patman on fighting crime.
I want to make boot camp secure, ban the sale of assault weapons, and keep violent criminals off our streets. I'm Karin Patman. My family's always believed in public service, responsibility, and hard work, but that seems to be missing in a lot of today's youth. The result, an epidemic of violence. I want to protect our families and put the criminals away for good.
In the 25th District, Karin Patman, the Democrat for Congress.
Glamour Shots high fashion photography has always been a great place to share good times with a friend. But now you can also share the savings during our special 2-for-1 offer. Just bring a friend to Glamour Shots and you'll enjoy 2 complete makeovers and 2 individual photo sessions, all for the price of 1. Glamour Shots. Share the fun, share the glamour. share the savings. With one call, appointments may be scheduled together or separately.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Alan Himberger. You're live in the Channel 13 newsroom. Right after Geraldo, here's some of the stories we'll have for you today on Live at 5. First of all, a Houston jury has reached a verdict in a lawsuit filed against breast implant manufacturers. 3 local women claim the companies knew about risks from silicone implants but kept the public in the dark. We're going to go back to Pasadena, where police investigating the case of a suspected child molester have now heard from several more parents who are worried their children may have been victims. Money flying out at the Astro Arena today as the poultry auction sent champion chickens and turkeys to the highest bidder. They went for a whole lot more than just chicken feed. In our continuing report on vitamins, today we're going to show you how scientists are developing superfoods. That's fruits and vegetables just loaded with vitamins, not violence, vitamins. Also, Mother Nature playing havoc with NASA's shuttle schedule. We'll tell you about that. And we'll have some tips for living longer and better from the folks who really ought to know. Plus, Ed Brandon's fabulous weather forecast on Live at 5.
The trials and tribulations of Michael Jackson continue. We've been hearing some of the allegations, not involving child molestation right now in this section of the show, but involving charges of plagiarism and pirating other people's songs. Let me introduce an expert we have, an unbiased person in the room. Junior Vasquez is a music producer. He's worked with the likes of Madonna, Cher, Prince, many others, Lisa, Cyndi Lauper. He's got all kinds of credits. Paul Abdul. Junior, I'm going to put them both together. I'm going to put Crystal's version and Michael's version, very short, together, and you tell us. They have the same title. Tell us if it's the same song. Roll it.
Dangerous. Get it so dangerous. Get it so dangerous.
Junior?
I believe there's a definite similarity there. The fact that it is not Michael that is singing her version, that's like you're distracted a bit with that. But I really think that there's a definite similarity there, and it's possible. As she did say that they were playing, it was a record on the airwaves or whatever. These things soak into your head as a songwriter, I know that. I had things in my head since the 50s, 60s, whatever. I think there's a similarity. What bothers me, it's the same title.
The same title?
It's the same title.
What are the odds on that happening?
Similarity, and it's the same title.
Was there, Crystal, help us and try and be objective, and I know it's very difficult because you've lost this bitter lawsuit. Did the jury hear the issue of the title, and is there any doubt but that Your Dangerous was released prior to Michael's Dangerous?
There's no doubt that mine was released before Michael's Dangerous, that it was played over the air before Michael's Dangerous. I hold the copyrights before Michael's Dangerous. And not only is the title similar, but the lyrics of the chorus are also very similar, including the rhyme.
Junior, you're the judge and jury now. How do you rule?
My opinion is that someone in Michael's camp heard this song, yes.
Okay.
And my opinion is...
All right. Took the jury just 3 hours to throw the case out. Crystal, how many did you sell? Michael sold 10 million or something.
I've got 1,000 floating around out there somewhere.
1,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
A whole 1,000.
In this videotape deposition, Michael Jackson explains his songwriting technique. This is when he was in court fighting against my next guest. Let me introduce them. Reynaudd Jones, Robert Smith, and Fred Sanford, okay? Oh, no, Fred was a separate case. So you wrote the same song these guys wrote?
One of the same songs.
Okay, Reynaudd and Robert. Here's what Michael said when they deposed him in Mexico.
Soft words.
What were you doing there?
Creating what I heard at the time, French horns, which are soft horns, which I felt should have gone at the time in the beginning of the song. That type of thing.
It's Michael, and there is no doubt but that this man is a genius. But that's Michael explaining in that deposition his creative process. A very difficult job, even for him. But again, Reynaudd, what happened when you went to court?
Well, the jury never got a chance to review or look at all of the evidence. As it was, the judge's special verdict form was given to the jury, and one of the first questions that were given to the jury was worded in such a manner where the jury unanimously came to a conclusion that Michael had not taken our song, but it was worded in such a manner that they were asking, did Michael fully take our entire song? And that wasn't the issue. Michael took passages, several passages out of our song.
Did the Jackson camp ever offer to settle?
At one point they did, which was a very low settlement.
Wasn't it $100,000?
$100,000.
How much were you suing for?
$400 million.
And how long, Robert, how long did it take the jury to dismiss your claim?
I think it took them a very short period. But what happened is, at the end of the trial, after we went through 20 days, our experts had identified the highest degree of similarities, striking similarities. And what Michael had done was cut and paste. Songs are just like automobiles. You can steal an engine, a car, and if you have what they call access, well, you know you're not going to steal a guy's car up the street and then parade it right in front of him, so you have to disguise what you do better. And so what happened in court was that the judge really threw out total copyright law. Now America really has no copyright protection.
Are you appealing?
Our appeal will be filed next week.
Fred Sanford, not the guy from Sanford and Sons, but Fred says that he sued Jackson over the song "This Girl Is Mine." He didn't want the money. He wanted just to know how Jackson got a hold of his song. How do you think he got a hold of it?
Well, my tape was sent out by CBS Records after I had given it to them. They called and asked if they could send it out to Johnny Mathis, whose office was on the 9th floor of CBS Records. Also on the same floor of the same label was Wisner and Demand. And my tape was supposedly sent out March 11th, 1982. And the first time anybody heard Michael's song was March 29th, 18 days later. Mine's a duet, his is a duet, and I own the copyright by 6 months. So I'm definitely convinced. The most important part of my evidence was my tape, which CBS took and could never find after that. And the songs became the same.
Did you bring an action against him?
Yes.
And lost?
I lost the lawsuit, but the first vote was 4-2 in my favor. And the jury was out for 3 days and eventually came back.
Okay. Flo, comment on everything you've heard on the people who claim the songs are pirated?
I think that when you're in a position like Michael Jackson, it's the same thing that Junior was saying earlier. There's so many similarities, and when songwriters hear different things on the air and different notes go through their head, it's easy for someone to think something sounds like someone and for similarities to come up. I don't think that anything is definitive.
Fred's never it. Robert, quickly, I got to go.
One quick thing. I handed Michael the tape of my song in his hand after his father had asked me to deliver songs in Los Angeles for a duet album for Randy and Janet. And I included songs that I thought the Jacksons needed at that time because their record deal
So they
was
actually had your tape?
Oh, yes. I gave it to Michael in his hand.
Last guest, I have to introduce, I'm out of time, folks. Gordon Keith, he owned a studio where the Jacksons recorded their first record. He says that the Jacksons' business ethics are questionable. Quickly, Gordon, I'm going to give you one statement, then I got to go.
Okay, well, I'm here to back up the stories of Reynaudd and Bob Smith and La Toya, because most certainly the songs are theirs, and we in Gary have proof.
Gary, Indiana, where you hail?
We have proof to the pedophilia of Michael Jackson and the homosexuality of the Jackson family. So we have that proof. The only thing is that most people have bypassed us because media have not seen fit.
We'll hear more from Gordon in 2 minutes.
This week, celebrate 20 years of People with a special double issue dedicated to the personalities and events that changed our lives. Over 300 pages of incredible memories. Look back at your favorites and see what they're doing now. Pick up this week's special issue of People today.
Start a project with Minwax Wood Finish and turn new into treasured, ordinary into extraordinary, even pine into cherry. Because Minwax Wood Finish makes it easy to turn any project into a beautiful masterpiece. Minwax makes wood beautiful.
Uh-oh, he wants to talk to you. But what about your breath? There, the only mints with that Retsin stuff for fresh, clean breath.
Good book?
Very.
He's gonna ask you out. But what are you gonna wear?
Why is Tux Medicated Pads the brand of hemorrhoid relief hospitals trust most? Because when hemorrhoids flare up, Tux provides soothing, cooling relief on contact. Tux, the brand hospitals trust most.
Speak Up America. We want to hear your comments and show ideas. Give us a call at 1-900-SPEAK-UP. Let us know what you're thinking. We'll record your message to play in a future broadcast. We may even call you to be a guest on a show. So call 1-900-SPEAK-UP. Don't forget, the call costs $1. We'll be right back.
At Monterey's, we know how you like your Tex-Mex.
Oh, it's fast.
Taco.
Good. Delicious.
Yeah.
Great place. Great place.
Monterey's Tex-Mex Cafe.
Good, fast, and cheap.
Had it with air fresheners that seem perfumey and artificial? Then try new Airwick Botanicals, now only 99 cents at Kroger. Botanicals are made with pure botanical extracts, so they're effective and fresh-smelling. Botanicals are one air freshener that really refreshes the air. So wave goodbye to your old air freshener and try new refreshing Botanicals at Kroger.
Are you hot for peppers?
But you don't even need a fire. You just drop them in the food and they cook it for you.
I'm hot for sweet peppers.
Now, real pepper should humble you.
Oh, it hurts so good.
At Food Lion, we want you to have the very best. And we want you to pay less. So when you pick a pepper, it comes with our Gold Lion guarantee. The way we see it, when the peppers are good, everything's good.
What better way to freshen your day than with Summer's Eve Feminine Wash? It's a unique, non-soap formula for intimate cleansing without irritation. And there's no better feeling than that. The Summer's Eve feeling. Clean, fresh, naturally better.
Your cousin get his new car? Yeah, big party. Yeah? I felt dumb telling him to take a taxi because he had one too many. But you did. No, I didn't.
Take the keys, call a cab, take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Before we go back to Gordon, the ex-owner of Steeltown Records, which apparently was the Jackson family's first label, and Gordon's explosive charges coming out of Gary, Indiana, that everyone knew about, the relative dysfunctions and alleged dysfunctions in the Jackson family way back then. What I want to do is now go back to Fred. Fred, remember, said that the song, the wonderful song, This Girl Is Mine, or The Girl Is Mine, was actually written by him many years ago. What I want to do, Junior, stand by. What I want to do is to give you the Michael version, the Fred version, and the Michael Fred version, okay? Let's go first with Michael's version.
Geraldo, before you run the tape,
yes,
could I just
Fred?
refer to the videotape that he just mentioned about the fact that in the introduction he hears horns?
Right.
There are no
French
horns on his, but you'll hear them on mine, and that's why I think you heard my tape.
Michael Jackson, The Girl Is Mine.
Every night she walks right in my dreams. Since I met her from the start, I'm the pride I am the only one who is special.
Okay, cut it, that's good. Now let's hear Fred's version, The Girl Is Mine.
Know that I'm all wrong. I let it go too long. For someone I really didn't care for.
Cut. All right, you're no expert, but I heard that snicker.
I don't know. It didn't sound in no way close to that. The first, I think Michael Jackson is the original one. And one more thing,
Same
one more.
Same song.
It's the same song.
Of course. Let's go to our expert, our objective expert, Junior Vasquez, producer of Paul Abdul, Cher, Prince, Liza. Cindy Lauper. Yeah, Junior.
I'm sure that I'll never work with Michael at this moment. I mean, you're killing my career here, but I mean, I still would like to work with him. Right? I would, but it's really the same song.
Thank you.
Oh, it's just that's what Michael does. I mean,
Some guys do it with a gun. He does it with records.
Would you also?
Yeah, let me clear something up. It's the same song, but I'm not saying that he, per se, has wrote.
You're not saying that he wrote it first, or
I don't know all of that, but to me, my ears, it's the same song. But who had what?
Don't you think
where,
Crystal's is a closer match? No?
They're both. It's the same to me. I hear them both.
You do. Audience, how many of you think it is the same song? How many of you think there are differences? Michael, we say 60-40? 60-40, say it's the same song. All right, now let's go back to those. Yes, go ahead, Reynaudd.
You know, it's a sort of a game, an awkward situation in the courtroom. Copyright infringement cases, when they're usually analyzed, it's similarity and access.
Yes.
When you have a greater source of access, then the similarity does not have to be that great, in a sense. In our case, we don't have our tapes with us, but Michael Jackson had access, or an overwhelming amount of access.
Robert handed the tape allegedly to one of the brothers, did you say?
What people don't know is that I started Michael Jackson. I put Michael Jackson on stage for the first time in his life, and we used to practice at my house. So this is a matter of decades.
Gordon, did you know Reynaudd back in Gary, Indiana?
Oh, sure. And I'd also like to say that what most of the Michael Jackson cheering section may not understand, I imagine they're probably backing him up because of, you know, his ethnicity. But what they really don't understand is that the whole Jackson family, for the most part, has a kind of bitterness and disdain of black people, and they also have a pattern which started with them double-crossing me in 1968, so much till they use deceptive measures to keep people under, like, you know, most people didn't even find out about me until Michael had this Moonwalk book out in 1988, and I'm sure most of them here are totally unaware of this record, even though this record here brought them here to the Apollo Theater in 1968.
What is the record?
So it's called Big Boy, and it was a hit record in several regions, but not here. And so what I'm saying is that the Jacksons...
about them mentions your company in that
that's not true, Florence.
Well, everything I've ever read.
No, you're wrong, baby.
Everything I've ever read.
You haven't read enough, baby. You have not read enough. You have not come.
Gordon, I got to take a time out. We'll come back to you. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. The trials and tribulations of Michael Jackson, as you have undoubtedly seen, continue.
Welcome to another episode of Around the World in 80 Meals with Tony Shah.
Tony Sacheries.
First stop, Mexico, and a plate of sizzling fajitas seasoned with Tony Chihuahuas.
Tony Sacheries.
Our next stop, China, and shrimp fried rice flavored with Tony Chow cheese.
Tony Sacheries.
From burgers to fries to popcorn, Tony Sacheries Creole seasoning is good on everything and available everywhere. Tune in next time when we visit Turkey. Tony Sacheries, the all-in-one seasoning in the little green can.
Welcome to Andorra.
Hi.
A small town where ordinary people...
How's Mama?
She's fat. ...lead extraordinary lives.
Oh, my.
Johnny Depp.
Come on down, buddy.
Juliette Lewis.
I'm not sorry. He's not sorry. We're not sorry.
And Academy Award nominee Leonardo DiCaprio.
I could go at any time.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, March 4th.
When it comes to fighting crime, there's a clear choice in the 29th Congressional District. In Congress, Gene Green co-sponsored legislation that makes it harder for criminals to buy guns and makes selling guns to minors a federal crime. And Green has fought for more police, new prisons, community policing, and boot camps. That's why every major law enforcement organization in Houston is backing Gene Green for Congress. The choice for the men and women in blue is Green for Congress. Gene Green, getting tough for Texas.
Stop paying too much for brand name quality carpeting. Come to Carpet Giant for savings of up to 50%. Buy it today, we'll install it tomorrow. I guarantee it.
Dive into our new fish and shrimp platter. 2 pieces of fish, 4 butterfly shrimp, coleslaw, fries, and biscuit, just $3.99. Popeyes. Now this place cooks fish and shrimp.
Don't get taken for a ride. Go the extra mile with Richard Alderman and learn about your rights as a car shopper. Showdown in the Showroom, this week only on 13 Eyewitness News at 6.
Services have been provided by Weston's historic landmark, the Algonquin. Located steps from New York City's theater and shopping districts, now offering exciting getaway leisure packages. The Algonquin Hotel. Promotional fees have been provided by...
They sparkle, they shine, they disinfect. Nothing outperforms them in the bathroom. Scrubbing bubbles. Only in Dow Bathroom Cleaner.
Turn up the colors in your wash with new Ultra Vivid Powdered Bleach with Color Care.
I've got 90 seconds of show left. I want to thank all of our guests, including Cindy Adams, who had to leave. But Gordon, I got 30 seconds for you. Here's the question. Isn't it possible, sir, that because you were part of the Jackson 5 and the family's early good fortune and not part of their subsequent success, that you are motivated by a kind of bitterness now, a broken heart, and anger?
No. No, as a matter of fact, I actually wanted to open up by letting you know that I really would like to help reconcile this whole matter by getting the help of the NAACP, Louis Farrakhan, my fellow Jewish and Italian brothers to come together, and we can sit down at the table, even with Florence over here, to get this thing squared away. But I like to let Bob say something.
I lived at the Lake County Children's Home in Gary, Indiana. There was a young lady there that, not a young lady, she was actually, you could say, my mother. She's degreed, and she's sworn to secrecy because of the state law. And she came to me and told me that Rebbie verified the child abuse with her.
Right.
And there is a court record of it.
One of the, that's a sister.
That's the oldest sister.
That's the oldest sister. Flo, finish us.
I'm just finishing by saying I think that Gordon took a lot of unfair shots. I mean, he's showing a record that he made when Michael was 10. So accuse a 10-year-old of pedophilia is a little, you know, going over the edge.
Okay. I want to thank all our guests. I'm sure this is not the final chapter. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.